We're back with the science behind the spring symphony of sounds you'll likely hear in your yard soon. The cicadas are coming in a way the U.S. hasn't seen since Thomas Jefferson was president. We're talking billions of bugs about to surface. 2 broods are set to emerge from the ground at the same time this spring and summer. It's the first time that this will have happened in more than 200 years. Here's a look at where you'll see them. Brood 13, colored in brown there, comes up out of the ground every 17 years, while brood 19 in blue comes up every 13 years. These broods overlap in parts of central Illinois, but don't worry, Missouri will certainly have its own fair share of noise this year. It's why we took a trip to see a scientist known as Dr. Bug to show you what to expect this season. All right, we are here in Blue Springs on the hunt for cicadas. Thankfully, Dr. Rial brought some visual aids. This is what we're looking for during a busy season, right?
That's right, yeah. So this is a fantastic year for entomologists because we're going to be able to see 2 broods emerging this year. Brood 13 is up in the Chicago area, and then brood 19, which is here in Missouri, and further east. So it's one of the largest broods geographically. So many cicadas, about 1.5 million per acre. There are lots of different kinds of cicadas. There's over 3,000 different species. And so right here, these are the cicadas that we hear every single year. There's several different species that we'll see, but the periodical cicadas are really special because they don't come out every year. There's 13-year cicadas and 17-year cicadas. Here in Missouri, we'll see the 13-year cicadas. These are actually from a brood that emerged in 2011. It's the same brood that's emerging this year.
So when they're coming out of the ground, what are they doing?
So when they first start emerging, when the ground temperature about 8 inches down is about 64.5 degrees, we'll start to see them coming up. And they will be in this form right there where they're a nymph. The first thing that they're going to do is they're going to find something to climb up. So a tree, a fence post, and then they will emerge into an adult. So it's kind of, there's so many of them, and it happens slowly enough that you can actually watch this process. It's kind of like what you would imagine an alien emerging from something. So as soon as that happens, as soon as they are able to fly, then they'll fly up to the top of a tree and we'll start to hear singing.
Is there any difference between size of the cicada and the noise and the volume? Or they're all just pretty loud, I guess.
They are. One of the big differences with the annual cicadas is they sing individually, but the periodical cicadas, the males are singing all together, which can make it so the sound can reach over 100 decibels, which is really loud.
You touched on this a second ago, just the sheer number. I mean, we're not talking about 1,000 or 100,000. We're talking millions or billions of cicadas, right?
Yeah, billions, at least billions. I've seen some people say trillions. That's just a huge number. Where they emerge en masse, they will actually cover trees, and you cannot avoid seeing them in the areas that they'll be.
What's the time frame for these broods?
So the periodical cicadas here in Missouri are emerging around late April, around this time, and they will be here for about 4 to 6 weeks. The other brood in the Illinois area, those actually will probably come out in late May.
As we said, it's kind of the mystery bug. Are there any misconceptions about cicadas that you hear often?
Yes, there are a lot of misconceptions. One of the biggest is that they're locusts. So locusts are actually a type of shorthorn grasshopper that can swarm. But cicadas are a completely different order, more closely related to aphids. They're not one of the plagues, even though it might feel like that.
Right, that's good. There aren't really any safety concerns with these, right? It's more of a noise thing.
Right, yeah. Cicadas don't bite, they don't sting, so we're going to be just fine. They overwhelm the system because everything likes to eat them. So yeah, your dogs will even eat them, your cats might eat them. They're gonna be fine. You don't want them to eat a lot of them. They could get a bellyache, but yeah. All the small mammals, the birds, they're all eating the cicadas. Even people will eat cicadas.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. What will you be doing during these emergencies?
I will definitely be out trying to find cicadas. We have about 4 different species here in Missouri, and I'll be trying to find all 4 of them.
Well, happy hunting. Dr. Rial, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
If you're interested in learning more about this year's big double emergence of cicada broods, check out this website, cicadasafari.org.